I'm going to do a little video on the Marlin Camp 9 here. I recently acquired a basket case that somebody had taken apart and couldn't get back together. It was missing pieces and so forth. I had one years ago that I gave to my father. Didn't realize at the time that there's at least two different variations of the gun. I wound up picking up, I want to say, the older model, and the one I gave my dad was actually a newer model, and I'll show you the differences in the receivers. This is the older model, the basket case I picked up. A lot of differences between this and the new model. One of the main ones is the mag catch design is a little different. It also has, on the newer model, on the right here, has a little cutout for another disconnect, and that the old one does not have. So basically, when it's to make sure the bolt's all the way forward before you can actually fire the trigger. The old one doesn't have that. Another thing different between the two models is on the older model you have two pins holding the say this is the ejector, and on the new model only one pin actually holds it in. I don't have it in right now, and then on the plate is actually the other pin. Okay, the old model does not have that pin on the plate. There's one other difference that I'm trying to remember. I know the feed ramps are different. This is the older one. The new one basically doesn't have the ears on the side. It's just a straight metal piece. Oh, and of course the manual hold open for the bolt is right here on the new one. On the old one, it is not there. It is actually this piece, which I do not like the design as much, that it can actually go in by mistake and hold your bolt open. I'm going to research it further and see about maybe being able to drill a little hole here and get a spring in here so it just holds out automatically until you want it to, then you can compress the spring. But that's something I'll look into later. So anyways, let's get to building. Oh, I want to show you one other thing. This is why you don't use harsh chemicals. You can see the fingerprints all through here. That basically melted the plastic. You can see the marks all through here. This is the new model. This is why I have this, as we replaced the receiver. It's not the receiver, I guess. It's the trigger group is what it, or the trigger cover or whatever is what it's called. It's only $17 through E-Gun Parts or Nimrich, whatever it's called. So we replaced it on my dad's, and that's why we have the spare one, and that's why we're showing you this, what happens to them when it went bad. That was my fault. But anyways, I'm building the old one. We'll go ahead and start with go ahead and get the safety in. It's probably the easiest thing to do. Little spring should drop straight down in there. You might have to get a little help from some tools over here. Okay, still needs to continue to drop. There it goes, and you see it in that slot there. Okay, all the way down. Okay, then you have the little ball. The reason I'm doing this video is when I bought this basket case, I was researching stuff on the Marlin forum online, and there's some really good videos. I mean, not videos, but picture posts. But, you know, pictures are worth 1,000 words, and videos are even better. So I decided, okay, let me go ahead and do this. Okay, you can put the safety in from the top. Just make sure you don't kick the ball back out. Okay, clicks right in. And it will actually stay there. The ball will hold it in now. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to show you what I'm not putting back in. This is the magazine disconnect that, if you drive these out, is actually held in here. I don't like it for several reasons. One, on my father's firearm that you see there, we actually got a big burr right here, and it damaged magazines, and it wouldn't get magazines in. And I figured if anybody's going to use this in a defensive purpose, you'd hate for that to happen at the wrong time. We had to actually take it out, grind it down, and so forth. We eventually just got rid of them. They don't really need anything, or they also don't allow the mags to drop free to the ground. You actually got to push a button and then pull them out manually. With this gone, it seems to help that. Now, people have said it makes the trigger pull better, but I can't find anything that would make it bad. I know the disconnector on the new model definitely would, though. This is the other piece that hinges in here. So when this is pushed in, this pushes up on this when you insert the magazine, and it disconnects from the trigger and allows the gun to fire. Basically, I'm just taking them both out, and in the place of this, I'm just inserting a couple washers, and it seems to work just great. So let's get with assembly. The first thing is to get the trigger and the sear together. And again, this is a difference, I think, between the old model and the new model. I want to say the new this is old model stuff we're dealing with. The new model actually has a little bit of a hole drilled for the spring to sit in. This one does not. Now, this one could have been messed with too, so I just don't know. I'm pretty sure the big end goes into the trigger assembly. Okay. Like that. And the sear just goes right over top. Now, I have a specially made pin that I hope I did not lose. Oh, here it is. That once you start sliding it back. Sorry, can't see it really well right now. You can kind of push this guy in here. Okay, now the pin's in there, and it's holding that spring together. Now these pins that I made up here, these four, one's a bigger one, and then 1, 2, 3 of those. There it is, actually some hitch clip pins that I had laying around. The biggest one is a 5/32, and the three smaller ones are 9/64s. I just cut them off with a pair of bolt cutters. Now we'll have some burrs on the end, and you can clean them up a little bit to make them slide in. But just doing this will allow you to put the gun together pretty easily. So anyways, once you have the trigger, you can kind of drop it in here, and you see the trigger spring there. Now, just get an angle pick or something like that. You can kind of get under it like this, and then drop it right in there. You're good to go. Okay. Next assembly piece. I've done this so many times, but you know, when the camera's on, it's a little different. Is actually going to be the go ahead and get that temporary pin out of the trigger, and we're gonna, or the small temporary, and we're gonna put a full-size temporary pin in here. That just allows you to get this in the trigger guard easy enough without messing with the sear. So you just kind of line the holes up, and of course it doesn't want to work as easy when I'm on camera. Oh, there it went. Okay, so throw that in there. Got to hit the ground, gonna have to get that one later. Okay, and you can kind of tuck, make sure the safety's forward, because it goes in, this is where your big pin comes in. Okay, and with this, you kind of got to work it all in there a little bit. You got a couple springs working against you. Okay, and now here's your couple flat washers. You can kind of, sorry, sometimes I realize where the camera's pointed. Okay, and there like that. Now it just kind of holds it all together. It doesn't have another side to lock it in, but it keeps it from firing forward. Next thing is going to be your feed ramp and your feed ramp spring. Sometimes this little booger gives me trouble. Okay, set that on there. Of course. Okay. Now you can see the hole is fairly offset, so Kind of start at the back here, grab another one of your assembly pins. You kind of got to push against the spring again. Once you get it going, it'll go through. And that's pretty much the most of it. This pin I don't need to use because I've taken this out. This is where that, no wait, that didn't go there. Come to think about it, I don't remember. Alright, so anyways, side plate. Okay, just line up your pinholes. Oh, I thought I needed that pin, but it's just for this rod right here. That pretty much all it does is help give it structure, but also when the hammer comes forward, it will contact that if you don't have it set up in the receiver. So if you're dry firing a weapon outside the receiver, it will hit that and could damage it. Okay, basically push all these flush. It will help you out a lot. Okay. Bring them all as far in as possible. And just start kind of sliding, wiggling. The trigger one's the one you really got to work with while you're assembling to make sure there's washers go in correctly. Of course, it's going to give me trouble, and I got a camera in my face, so I can't see very well here. What in the world? Okay. Get the trigger in. Come on. There it goes. As long as you get those washers started. Push out the back here. So he's giving me a heck of a time this time. Done this 100 times. Okay, there she goes. Right on through. Just takes a little wiggling, a little moving around. But once you got it, it goes in pretty easily. From then, we're going to have to do the assemble the hammer. Now, I haven't contacted the guy yet, but I did wind up getting one of these stainless steel ones. And it's reversed right now, but it wound up bowing on me in no time. And I'm really surprised by that. So I wound up, buying... I didn't have this whole assembly, so I bought all this stuff off the e-gun parts. Then I realized on the last page on e-gun parts, they have an entire assembly for 13 bucks, which is these pieces and this little clip, and it's all held together. I'm going to go ahead and put it back together. But it has the strut bridge, the spring, everything. And I was like, man, when I first ordered parts, I didn't go to the last page. I didn't realize it was even there. It's a little hard to get together sometimes. Okay. Alright, so just get it all together. Okay. Now, without the magazine disconnect and all that, you can manipulate the trigger pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. And work with me here. Oh. Trigger didn't. Okay. So you're just going to lay this guy in here. In the hole right there. Okay. And keep a little... Oh, no, wait. This is the one I want to do. This is the one I wanted to do. When you order any of these parts from the on the web or anything, make sure you're cleaning them up. They've all come to be very dirty. Okay. Now we're going to get the other side plate on. Okay. Here's the E-clip that goes right here. Now, this E-clip, you can get these at Ace Hardware or anywhere else. Don't spend a ton of money on. They're like 13 cents. Don't buy them from the websites for parts, for gun parts. It's just not worth it. Okay, there's your lower receiver together, and you can cock the hammer back, pull pull your little savior out, and then you can. Okay, and that's it. I think everybody else has figured out how to get these into the receiver properly. One thing a lot of people mess up is they allow this to go forward, the feed ramp. You can see the booger marks on this one, and doesn't allow you to assemble the front very well. Then you mess up the spring and the lifter, or the bolt hold open. Make sure this gets pushed in as you're assembling the front first if possible. Now, one more detail. This older model takes this style. My father's newer model took this style. I ordered this one by mistake, thinking it would have worked, but I messed up. Now, the funny thing is, the one that's in my father's gun is actually longer. It comes out to here as factory, whereas this one I ordered is shorter. I can't really explain it. Don't know why there would be a difference, but there was. So just a surprising thing there. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Just take care when installing this, because this spring gets messed up very easily. And that's it. Have a good day.